Hello, hello. Hi, Silke here. If you haven't met me before, I help people who have never painted before become super confident artists with super easy to follow step by step painting tutorials and personal coaching, just like I'm going to give today. Now, today I'm going to give. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to paint. Where is it? A landscape painting. Yay. And I'm going to show you how to do that using just one brush and four colors. Easy peasy, super fun, and you'll have a beautiful landscape painting at the end of it. Now, if you're one of those people, you've always wanted to learn to paint, maybe you've been watching my tutorials online for a little while, maybe you're feeling a little bit nervous about getting started. Firstly, don't worry, that is totally normal. Learning anything new is, when you're learning anything for the first time, it can be scary because you don't know how to do it and or how it's going to turn out. Or maybe you even have your art supplies already, but you've got no idea what to paint. You're a bit short on ideas. So if any of those are you, this free painting tutorial today is for you. Now, you could stay wishing and dreaming about learning to paint. You could stay stuck waiting for painting ideas to come, not sure what to paint, stay wishing you could just get started painting and enjoy the absolute buzz of creating art with your own hands, wishing and waiting, but never actually pick up a paintbrush. Or maybe you've got all your supplies ready and you're excited to paint, but you've just been staring at a blank canvas. Da, 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 da. As you're waiting for ideas to come to you and all you're hearing is crickets. And you might be getting a bit frustrated because you just want to paint already, but the ideas are just not coming. You could stay in those states, or you could just get started tonight with this tutorial. Yay, it's going to be fun. Now, my paint clubbers and my customers, they've figured out that you don't actually need any experience to get started painting. You just need someone showing you step by step how. And they know that you don't need ideas first when you've got someone teaching you their own designs. Oops. And they know that as you paint, you learn new skills and their confidence grows with each brush stroke. Think about it. You might want to learn something, whenever you want to learn something new, you're not going to learn it just by thinking about it, right? You're going to learn it by doing it. That's the best way to learn it. And the more you do it, the better you get at it, whatever that new thing is. And that's why I teach new paintings inside Paint Club, my membership, every month. And Paint Clubbers, they have access to a whole library of painting tutorials so that they can paint more often and get practice and get better at it. And that's why I offer, easy to follow painting tutorials like this today. So you have a place to start. I want to help you get started, and you can see what's possible with the right help, with the right person showing you, and you can see how much fun it is, and that it's way easier than you might think when you've got someone showing you the way. So today, like I showed you, I'm going to show you step by step how to paint this super easy landscape design. All right, so you can just enjoy the fun of being creative and creating your own painting without having to figure out how or what you need or racking your brains for ideas first. No brain strain at all. Just skip straight to the painting fun and painting this cute little landscape. All right, woohoo! Super easy to learn how to paint this one. I'm going to give you exact instructions from start to finish and show you how to create your very own landscape. All right. Now, while you have fun painting this one, while I show you how to paint this one, you're also going to learn how to blend colors. I'll show you how to create cool clouds and textures and a bit of depth with shadows on our land. You're going to learn, a few other painting techniques and tips as we paint. And as you do, you'll automatically, without even realizing you're doing it, you automatically grow your confidence as you paint. All right. Now, best of all, you don't need any you don't need many supplies for this lovely free tutorial. I'm going to show you exactly what brushes and colors I'm using. Boom, it's just so easy. There's no thinking required. Just grab a brush and follow along. Easy fun, and you'll end up with a beautiful landscape that you created all by yourself. Yay. So yes, this is for first-time painters and new painters and beginner artists who just want a little bit of guidance and a little bit of help to get started on that creative journey. If you've painted with me before, though, you're more than welcome to join in. Of course, I love teaching people how to paint. It doesn't matter who it is. I love just sharing the joy and healing of art. So that's my goal for today. So all you need to paint this one, say hi if you're here, by the way. Say hi if you're painting with me live or just watching live or on the replay even. But all you need for today, I'm going to be using a medium flat brush. This is a 1/2 inch flat brush, and by flat, that's the top of it is flat. All right, this is a synthetic brush. You need something to paint on. You can paint on a little canvas. I found these cute little rectangle ones at an op shop, which I love op shopping for canvases, but you can use a canvas pad or just anything you want to paint on. And just a few paint colors. I'll be doing a blue sky, but you can use any colors you like. The technique is the same. If you want to do a nice sunset sort of sky instead, use yellows and reds, instead of blue. So I'm going to be showing you using a small canvas like this, but you can use any size. This will work for a square, a rectangle, any shape or size you want, or on a canvas pad even. And this is just a nice little quick one if you've only got a little bit of time. So it's going to be a nice, quick, easy one. So like I said, I'm using a 1/2 inch flat brush, and the paint colors I'm going to be using. Let me just pop this one down somewhere. There we go. The paint colors I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using cobalt blue and white for our sky. All right. And then I'm going to be using, I've got a light green here and black, tiny little bits of black to add some highlights. And these are for our land. Okay. But like I said, you can use any colors you like. If you want to do it purple and orange, you totally can. All right. Okay. So let me just swivel you around a bit so you can see my canvas a bit better. There we go. Let me get my paints out. Here we go. Here's my paints that I prepared. Some I prepared earlier, as so to speak. All right. The first thing we want to do is we just want to grab a pencil. We're just going to sketch our horizon line. We're going to put our horizon line in our land. Now I've gone quite low just so that we can have a ton of fun painting our sky up the top. All right. So I'm going to go quite low. You don't need much. See, nice line across the bottom. Don't worry too much if you don't get it right. And I've literally just made up my landscape. You can do any hills or shapes that you like. So that's all we need. That is all we need to sketch so far. Okay. So let me know if you can see my lines all right that I've been painting there. I'm just going to get you on my phone as well so I can see any comments as they come through. Cool. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to paint our sky. What we're going to do is we're going to put a few little dabs of dark blue on first, our cobalt blue, and then we're going to add white over the top, and we're going to let those colors blend a little, just to let the colors mix on your brush. So we get some different shades of blues and whites on our brush, and also on the canvas as well. And that just means we're going to create loads of different shades of blue. All right. Now, if you're painting for the first time, for two colors to blend, both colors need to be wet. So we need to keep going. All right. So I'm going to use my 1/2 inch brush, and I'm just going to create a few random patches. You can see I'm being quite random. A few random patches of dark blue. Now, this is just to get some dark blue on the canvas. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get most of that blue off on our canvas. And we're going to paint white over the top of that, all right? And we're just going to grab a whole bunch of white. And as you paint over the top of that, it's going to pick up the blue that's on your canvas, and it's going to create loads of other shades of blue. All right. Now we're just going to sort of keep overlapping our white onto our blue, and you can see that it's creating all those lovely shades of blue, all sorts of different shades. Now you don't want to over blend, because that's going to blend it all back to one sort of flat color of light blue sort of in between. So we're just going to randomly do some shapes, and you can do some longer clouds if you want to sort of do some longer ones. Pull your white through your blue, and it's going to pick up some of that dark blue, and it's just going to create loads of lovely different shades of sky. Essentially, you can have some lighter patches and some darker patches. You can be a bit more swirly and fun with your clouds if you want to. This is a really fun, easy one where you can just have a bit of fun, and you're just going over that blue, and as you do that, the brush will sort of blend those colors on the canvas, creating all those lovely different shades. Now, if you want to go darker, you can put a bit more blue on. If you want to sort of create a darker patch on one side, I'll just grab some more blue. Maybe I'll create another darker patch up here. You can do anything you like. That's the beauty of this. You can just have a bit of fun with it. Now, you want to blend them a little bit so they're not too different. But you can see I'm just being quite random, just literally spreading my paints on wherever. But I'm using the brush, and I'm going over that dark blue so that it picks up some of that dark blue. Yeah, and both the colors blend on the brush and also on the canvas as well, and we get all those lovely shades happening. And once we've got a general coverage going on, we can start shaping our clouds. I mean, I'm sort of doing it as I go anyway, but we sort of want to get a bit of color on first and just cover our canvas, making sure there's no whites of the canvas peeking through anywhere, or everywhere, either or. And I'm going to paint right up to my hills, and don't worry too much if you paint over your hills, because we'll cover those up. We'll paint those over later. So we're painting up to our hills, and now I've got a good coverage on. Now I can just sort of think about, do I want to just create another shape of a cloud here? And then when I'm using my brush, I'm loading my brush with a little bit of white. You can see I've got a little bit of white there, and I'm kind of using it on an angle. So rather than painting it straight down, I'm holding the brush on a slight diagonal, so it kind of puts more paint on one side than the other. So I can sort of drag it and create a bit of a shape. So this is how I just sort of create a cloud. And as I'm pulling through the blues, obviously I'm picking up the blues as we go, and that creates a lovely sort of cloud shape. And you can just sort of create your cloud shapes as you go. And you can see I've been really random and quick about that, and already I have a beautiful, beautiful sky. Hi, Brenda. Brenda's going to do this one later. All good, all good. Sometimes watching people paint is relaxing as well, hey. So I'm just checking that there's no sort of big areas that I'm not so happy with, and I can just sort of pull the colors into each other. If I want some more darker areas, I can maybe create another darker area if I want. But really, this is just a fun one to just pull some colors together and create a lovely moody sky, So I'm pretty happy with that as it is, actually. Maybe a little bit darker there. And this is where you can just have a test of, you can see how, if you're painting for the first time, you can just sort of get a feel for how colors blend together on the canvas, and on your brush as well. And you sort of get a feel of if the paint sort of feels like it's resisting a little bit as you pull your brush, that just means that the paint's starting to dry already, and it's likely not going to blend for much longer. So if you want more a lighter sky, use a little bit more white, and if you want it a bit darker, use a little bit more blue. And if you want narrower, if you'd like some narrower ones, let me just demonstrate on my palette. You can use the full width of the brush, or you can turn your brush 90 degrees and use the side profile. Wait, there's no paint. use the side profile of your brush and you can get a much narrower line. So if you want narrower details on your clouds, maybe you want to add a darker streak underneath perhaps somewhere, you can use your brush on that side profile. I'm just going to flatten that out though because I don't want that. Cool. So we've got our clouds in. Now if any of your paint is dry and you want to paint over it, you can. That's that easy. All right, just have a bit of fun, create some lovely cloud shapes. And one of the I think one of my most favoriteest things about painting is that if you don't like something, you just paint over it. So if you've got a cloud that you don't want, just put another brush stroke over the top of it and paint over it. You don't have to have it. Or if you've gone too dark and you want it a bit lighter, put a light back over the top of it. I love that about painting. You can, if you don't like it, paint over it. I mean, worst case scenario, if you really don't like it, dry it, paint it all white and start again. That's the beauty of painting. There's nothing really that you can't paint over. Okay, so that's our sky on. We're going to clean our brush. I'm going to dry our brush. Always dry your brush, otherwise any water that's in the brush, the next time you put pressure on your brush, it's going to dribble down your canvas. All right, and I've still got a bit of white in there. Give that a second go. And I've just got an old towel, and I just basically give my brush a squeeze, and we're good to go. But paper towels will do as well. So the next step, we're going to paint our land, and we're going to let the brush strokes create a bit of texture just to make it look like it's got a bit of green foliage and trees and stuff happening. And then we're going to just blend a tiny little bit of black in. So you can see on my original here, I've got some shadows and whatnot, and just a bit of texture and shadows happening there. And all I've done there is just I've got a tiny little bit of black, and I've blended that in to the green. All right, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to put the green on first, then a tiny little dip of black just to smudge it in and create some shadows, just to give the illusion of shadows. All right. So when we do that, we need our green obviously to still be wet when we put our black on. All right, so same brush again. I've just cleaned it. I'm just going to get a little bit of green, and I'll be painting up to and over our sky. Now, I could just do strokes like this, but if I do that, you'll see that it's all looking a bit blah. So what I'm going to do is I'm literally going to squiggle and randomize my shape and use the brush strokes. Let me show you closer. I'm going to use the brush strokes to create a bit of texture. So I'm going to be quite random about it. And every brush stroke you can see leaves a bit of detail. And that's what I'm going to use to create the texture. So I'm just going to get my bottom straight there, as on the bottom of my hill. You can put the main bit of paint on and just sort of go rough it up a little bit and create a bit of texture. We're still going to come back and put some shading on with our black. But you can see that every brush stroke leaves a bit of detail. And that later on, once you finish your painting, that's what's going to make it look like, you know, a bit of land with some trees and some grass and just a bit of detail happening in the background. So all we need to do is just put our green on, being, you know, quite rough and random with our brush strokes to create that texture. This is a really lovely, easy way to just make it look like there's a little bit going on those hills. There's some, you know, there's some grass happening here and there. There's some trees, there's some bushes. And you can see I've turned my brush up the other way, and I'm using my brush again. Instead of using the full width of the brush, I've just turned it 90 degrees and I'm using the narrow edge. I just find it a little bit easier to paint up to my horizon line there. Doesn't matter too much right now if you go over where your C is going to go, because we will paint over it anyway. And if you're finding that your paint's not going on very well, if your brush is just pushing your paint around, your paint generally will sit in what's called the belly of the brush, which is the sides of the brush. This is the toe of the brush, and this is the belly of the brush. So if you're doing that, you'll see that the paint's just sitting there on the side doing nothing. So you want to bring your paintbrush down more parallel to your canvas, and that will put more paint on your canvas. So I've just created some lovely randomized brush strokes here, just short little strokes to create that lovely texture. Oops, sorry. Lovely texture in my land. So that's our base coat of land. And now we're going to add the shadows. All right. So now I just need to explain a bit of color dominance to you. We're going to do this without cleaning our brush, all right? We want the colors to blend a little bit on the brush. Now, generally, the darker color is the more dominant it's going to be over a lighter color. So, for example, you'd only need a tiny, tiny little bit of black to overpower that green and make it darker, all right? So when you're doing your shadows, you literally just need the tiniest, tiniest little bit. Can you see that? The tiniest, tiniest little bit of black. And that will darken your green very, very quickly. You can see how dark that suddenly goes. So what we're going to do is we're literally just going to smudge that in a little bit, and we're going to use that just to create some shadows. And you can see I've just used the tiniest little dip of black, and I'm being quite random about this. It doesn't matter if your hill gets taller. And I'm just going to roughly and randomly, I'm going to tie a tiniest little bit of black, all right, and just smudge it in randomly to create a little bit more texture. Use your brush to just really create that texture in your hills, all right? If you can see, I've gone a bit high there. I just changed the shape of my hill. Not a problemo. But just really sort of create some rough and random texture. It's going to look weird when you're really close up to it, but later on when you stand further away from it, you'll see that it'll look really, really good, okay? And again, if there's anything you don't like, paint over it. Dry it and paint over it, all right? Now, I'm just going to show you, if you've accidentally put too much black on, I'm going to show you how to get it off, all right? So this next step, it's not a step to do. I'm just going to show you how to fix it if you've accidentally put too much black on, all right? So I'm going to put a lot of black on here and go quite dark, all right? So you can see, hang on, I'll do a little bit more so you can really see it. Okay, so you're like, oh no, I don't want that much black, okay? What you do is you wipe your brush, you get the black off, okay? Wipe the brush, get the black off, and do what I call a reverse brush stroke. So if ever you put a color on and you don't want it, you change your mind and it's too dark, you do a reverse brush stroke. So I've wiped my brush now, and I'm literally going to go backwards into the stroke, and you can see that it's picked up all that paint, all right? So wiping my brush again, I can just reverse that stroke and pick up all that black, okay? So that's how you get paint off while it's still wet. Obviously, it's not going to work when it's when it's dry. So let me just put a bit of green back on there, put that back in, and then we can go back to just literally all I'm doing is the tiniest little bit of black, and I'm just smudging it through completely randomly to create some shapes and shadows. And this is just a really super quick, easy way to just create a few, a bit of a distant sort of land piece that just looks like there's something going on there, and you want to be completely random about where you put stuff. You don't want to be too even about it, about your placement of your lights and darks. Otherwise, it is going to look a little bit manufactured. Oh, thanks, Brenda. Brenda says, well, looks great. Thanks. So all I've done is a little bit of green there and a little bit of black smudged randomly in to create a few shadows. Now I'm just going to wipe my brush, and I want to put a few little trees down, little clumps of trees. So I'm going to get some green again on my brush. Where do I want to put them? Maybe I'll put them here. So again, the paint is in the belly of the brush, so you want to hold the brush with the bit, more parallel to the canvas, and very lightly, and that will put a bit more paint on. So I'll just create a cluster of trees there and maybe one here as well. So you can see it'll go on a little bit darker and just look like a nice patch of trees. Maybe we'll put some over here as well. If you're pushing too hard, it will push the paint around rather than put it down. So just put a few trees there. So that's all I've done. Easy, hey? Yeah. So already that's looking good. And you can see I've got a bit of paint on my seed, but that's fine. Don't have to worry about that. We're going to clean that up in a minute, so you won't have to worry about your horizon. Now, the only thing to know, if you're painting for the first time, if you want to add a bit more light green and you've got black on your brush, you do have to wipe your brush. Otherwise, the black will overpower your light green very, very quickly. And then you'll get, wipe your black off, and then you'll get a cleaner green on your brush. Now, I've been painting most of my life. So I showed you a quick fix on how to get dark paint off if you've got a color on there that you don't want. But I've been painting most of my life, so I've made all the mistakes and I've learned all the tricks to fix things. So when I teach, in the studio here or in paint club, I always like to anticipate what could go wrong, and I share my fix-its, just like how I did today, with people. So, they know that there's pretty much nothing that can't be fixed with painting. So when people paint with me, they can just relax and enjoy the process, knowing that if they do make a mistake, I will show them how to fix it every time. Yay. So if you finished your land, just make sure there's no white bits showing between your land and your sky. Otherwise, you'll notice those later. Actually, I'm really liking that sky better than my original. That's the beauty of painting a sky. Every time it's totally different. So fun. All right. So next thing we're going to do is paint our sea. Now we're going to give it a full blue cover first. And then we're going to add some little wave highlights over the top while that blue is still wet. All right. So I'm cleaning my brush because I don't want a green sea. And drying my brush as well. And I'm just going to put a nice, quick, easy layer of blue all the way over the bottom. The rest of my sea. Yeah. Nice long strokes. We're going to just put a layer down, and then we're going to add our little wave highlights and details. So nice, good coverage. And this is where you can clean up your horizon if you got a bit of land in the sea where you don't want it. Now, I find that, for me personally, you might want to just use your brush like that, but I find that if I turn my brush 90 degrees and use the narrow profile, I somehow, maybe it's just me, but I find that a lot easier to get a straighter horizon line. Now, it doesn't matter if you pick up a little bit of your green, it'll be so minimal that you can just blend it in. So we're just getting in a nice coverage, making sure there's no white left between your land and your sea. Now this needs to stay wet, so you want to put it on reasonably, not too light that it's going to dry out before you get to it. So we've got all our blue on now. All right. Now I'm just going to wipe the brush to get most of the blue off. I'm not going to wash the brush because I don't want it to be too wet. All right. And what we're going to do is we're just going to get little dips of white on the end of our brush, and we're just going to very lightly with the brush parallel to the canvas, we're just going to very lightly pull some colors through. Let me show you that closer so you can see. So a bit of white on my brush, and I'm just going to very, very lightly pull those strokes through the sea, and the brush will pick up a little bit of the blue as you go. And that's what's going to give it, you go over a little bit so it's not too bold, but that's what's going to give it that lovely little sort of wave sort of effect. You can actually do it. I'm just doing little horizontal ones, but you can do little wavy ones. Oh, I'm not being very wavy, am I? You can do little wavy ones if you like. By ones, I mean waves, like wavy waves. Oh, sorry, was that really reflecty? But what you don't want, you see I've got a nice bold white there. We want to just soften that back. So we just go over it again, but not so much that it blends in completely with the sea. And we just sort of keep going, adding little dips of white and just blending little bits of white in. I'm creating a shadow there, aren't I? And just keep going. And any really light white bits, you can just soften back. You can leave the odd little sort of, if it's a rougher sea, you can leave a little bit of a white cap in if you want to. But you can see I'm slowly getting a nice little sea texture happening there. That's just a minimal amount of white. It's not much at all. If you've got too much white, again, you know, I'm going to show you this. Don't do this. This is just to show you how to fix it if you have accidentally done this. If you just got a massive bit of white and you're like, oh no, that's too much. Wipe your brush. You can do the reverse brush pull, but in this case, the blue is going to be dominant enough that you can probably just pull it back and forth and it will blend in with the blue. If not, you can grab a little bit more blue and just darken it back again. All right, so we just end up, I'm just going back to my white again. We just slowly end up with, oops, I missed the white, with lots of little light little highlights of white in our water just to break up the solidness of the water. The odd little white cap here and there. But generally we've just got a lovely little calm sea happening. If there's anything too bold, you can just go over it a couple more times and just soften it back if you want. Or if there's anything too white, you can put a bit more blue back on it if you want. Oh, I like my sky. I like that one better than my original. Lovely. So that's it. That's how to paint a really quick, easy landscape. Now what you want to do, probably not with this brush, but maybe with a smaller little liner brush, you want to just grab a color and put your autograph on it, because I'm sure it's looking great and you want to put your name on it, be proud of what you created. Sorry, I've got a creaky chair today. Sorry, it's not me, honest. So let me swivel you back. So I hope you enjoyed that. How did you like that? Let me know if you're watching live or on replay. Let me know how you enjoyed painting that. And if you'd like to hear how you can paint with me again, stick with me for a little bit longer. Now, as you can see, if you've just painted for the first time, learning to paint with someone showing you step by step, just like I did, makes it so much easier. Am I right? Am I right? That was super easy, right? Let me just, there we go down a bit so you can see it. Now, if this is the first time you've joined me for a painting tutorial, you can see that the way I teach is super easy to follow and anyone can do it. It's so easy. You don't need any experience. All you need is just a willingness to have a go and just the ability to hold a paintbrush, basically. If you can hold a paintbrush and follow simple instructions, you can absolutely learn to paint. Now, I teach all my paintings this way. Super simple, easy to follow steps. Even bigger paintings, you know, that look like they might be a little bit harder, it's still easy. It's just a few more steps, you know, same simple steps, there's just a few more of them to get a little bit more detail. As one of my paint clubbers, Leanne, shared with me once, she said, it's just incredibly easy and exciting fun. Loved every minute of painting with Silka. I had never painted anything other than my nails and a house before and was nervous to give it a go, and now I'm hooked. That's words from Leanne, which I still love. They never painted anything other than their house or nails. And now she's painting beautiful masterpieces. Yay. Now, what we painted today is actually a simplified version of one of the paintings, one of the painting tutorials in Paint Club. I think I've got it here. There it is, which is Coastal Curves. So all I've done is I've just simplified this one today just because I wanted to do something nice and quick, but it's a simplified version of Coastal Curves, which is in Paint Club. There's a whole library of all the paintings I've ever taught in Paint Club is in there. So our paint clubbers can essentially paint this one or any other paintings that are in there anytime they like. So that's pretty cool. They just can go and get as much practice as they want. Now, if your brain's thinking, oh, no, I could never do that. You know, if you're looking and joining me for the first time and you're thinking that looks too hard, essentially our brains are actually hardwired to make decisions for us if we don't have all the information. So if you're looking at a finished painting and you don't know how to paint, you know, if you don't know how to paint it, your brain will automatically decide, I don't know how to do that. I can never do it. It's too hard. you know, and then you'll miss all the fun. um, all you got to do is just have a go and give it a try. Now, all my students in my paint club is they've realized that you don't need to know how to do it. You don't need to know how it's done. You just need someone to show you how. And then you realize it's actually not hard at all when all you have to do, you know, when you only have to do one step at a time. If you just follow along one step at a time, eventually it all comes together at the end and you have a beautiful painting. Now, the only difference between being able to paint that simple landscape I showed you today or the bigger painting, it's just a few more steps. That's it. It's the only difference. We just paint a little bit longer and paint a few more steps. And if you just follow my steps, you end up with a beautiful painting and a happy heart, because painting makes you happy. So we had some fun painting our landscapes today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you painted one, I'd love to see your painting. Pop it in the pop a picture of it in the comments below. I'd love to see it, and I'm sure everyone else would love to see it as well. Or just let me know what you enjoyed or what you found helpful from this quick little tutorial. So I hope you liked it. So today I showed you that you don't need any experience or to come up with your own ideas to get started painting. I mean, you're welcome to go and waste a ton of valuable time just wishing you could paint or waiting for your own ideas, you know, missing all the fun and all the enjoyment of painting. Or you could be like my students in my paint club is and let me teach you. Let me teach you some designs step by step, like today. Now, if you loved what you painted today, if you enjoyed this and you painted along, imagine what you could paint with a few more skills and a bit more practice. You know, could be anything. Could be amazing. Could be so much fun you're having. So now that you know you can paint without needing experience first or ideas first, you may be thinking, oh my gosh, this is so much fun. What can I paint next? If you'd like to try another painting with me, I'd be honored. I would love to show you another painting. Now, I will be inviting new members to join me in Paint Club very, very soon. I've told you a little bit about Paint Club, but I will be opening Paint Club again to new members very, very soon, like probably next week. Yay! Now, there's a ton of easy, colorful tutorials, the painting replays already in there to choose from inside Paint Club in our painting library. They're all step by step, just like we did today. And they all come with a supply list, so you'll know exactly what you need. You know, you won't have to guess what you need to paint. You won't have to come up with your own ideas. I've done it all for you. Boom, easy. Yay. You just choose what you want to paint and you know what you'd like to create, and you can get started straight away. And I also teach a brand new painting every single month live. We all paint together in our private Facebook group. It's so much fun. It's so much fun, and people can comment and I can help them out. It's awesome. And check out what we're painting next. Hang on. It's behind the Coastal Curves. The Coastal Curves is in the painting library along with a heap of other ones, but this is what I'm teaching next. Sunset Reflections. I cannot wait to teach this one. This is inspired by a recent Wellington sunset. We've been having some lovely sunsets recently, so this is what I'm teaching next inside Paint Club. But yeah, so fun to paint together in Paint Club. Let me just pop that one there. You know, together in our community, we paint together, we connect, we inspire each other, share our paintings. It's just our lovely private community where we paint together, and everyone is so supportive of each other. It's amazing. We've got some incredible members in there, and it's just a really great place to, you know, get inspired and be encouraged on your creative journey. So if you'd like to have some fun learning to paint beautiful art that you're proud of and growing your creative skills and confidence together with an awesome, amazing community of other people on the same journey, doing the same thing, there's a link in the post. Scroll down at the bottom. There's a link in the post here. Go click on that and get yourself on the Paint Club waitlist. Like I said, I will be opening that very, very soon, hopefully next week. Get yourself on the wait list, click on that link, and you'll be the first to know as soon as Paint Club is open. And if you're on the wait list, you will also get first access to spots before anyone else. All right, there's going to be limited spots and you'll get first dibs. Yay. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you loved painting your lovely landscape. I mean, look how quick I did that. Oh my gosh, I love my sky better than my original. Where's my original? I buried it. I'm so happy with my sky. And you saw how easy that was and so fun. I hope you enjoyed that because I did. I love showing people how to paint. And I hope you've now got a gorgeous landscape painting, or at least can look forward to painting it maybe on the weekend if you haven't painted tonight watching. And I hope you end up with a beautiful landscape painting that you're proud of. And if you enjoyed this tutorial, do like it and share it. Tell other people about it. If there's anyone else you know who would love a bit of painting, a bit of relaxation, a bit of stress relief painting. And whatever channel you're watching on, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any other free tutorials. Subscribe or follow. If you're watching on YouTube, you click the little notification bell and that'll let you know as soon as I do another one. And of course, I'd be super grateful if you'd help me share the joy of fun and painting with more people. So please do share and tell other people about it and have fun. Have fun painting your landscapes. Yay. And don't forget to post a picture if you're finished. I'd love to see it in the comments below so you can brighten up the world with all your beautiful, lovely paintings. Yay. And like I said, if you want more, if you would love to paint with me more and paint with all our wonderful paint clubbers in our cool community, click the link in the post, scroll down in the post and you'll see it there at the bottom. Click the link in the post and get on the paint club waitlist. And we hope to paint with you soon. Yay. So thanks for joining me today. I hope there's beautiful, colorful landscapes popping up everywhere as you paint this one. And I cannot wait to see them if you want to share them with us. And I hope to see you behind a paintbrush again very, very soon. Thanks for joining me. Bye.